Hey everyone, I'm going back out on the boat today. Now that we've got the engine going, I'm going to swim underneath and clean the propeller off. And then we're going to try and drive it over to a nearby pontoon, and I'm going to scrape off all the sides of the hull before we get it up on the slip. And then I'm going to take it over to the jetty and pressure wash the bilge, because the bilge is full of oil and all kinds of other junk. So we're out on the boat. I'm just going to go under and scrape the propeller and a little bit of the rudder, and then we'll see if we can drive it over to the pontoon. It's like a solid piece of coral. I think I'm going to need something a bit stronger.
Yes. I think the boat, that's why the boat wouldn't drive at all then. So.
No, but it will come off. I just need to get like a hammer or something and just... Right, I went underneath and cleaned the propeller and the rudder a bit. There's a lot of growth down there. Now I've got to go back underneath the cockpit to the gearbox and hook the gearbox up, and then we're going to try and drive it off the mooring. First time in probably 10 years at least. Going back in there. Okay, there's the gearbox. So I just need to hook that cable up there. That one will be right. We're going to start the engine up. You ready?
Yep.
This is how we do it. Oh, come on, hang on. Yes. Hang on, here we go. The motor's going. We know it'll go forward. We don't know about reverse yet, but we're just going to take it off the mooring and we're going to drive it around a little bit.
Yep. Oh, we're straight now. Yeah, we are actually moving.
We're driving. It's the first time this thing's driven in over 10 years. And the steering's not all that good and it's pretty slow, but we're carrying about a ton of weed underneath. But it just feels good to see it actually moving off the mooring, and it hasn't taken that long, so I'm really happy. Ready? Okay, hang on. Right, we've got the boat up at the jetty and I've just scraped it all off. And we drove it here under its own steam, which is just phenomenal. When you looked at that engine a few days ago, you would never have thought it was going to go. We've got it up here, we've scraped it all off. The hull actually doesn't look too bad. Could be a lot worse. So the next thing I'm going to do is pressure wash all the deck, and then we're going to clean out the bilge. It's coming up pretty well. We've sort of washed the front half of the deck. A lot of the mould's gone. See, there's still a bit of it over here and down there, but it's looking a lot better. The smell of bird has pretty much gone. But down here we've got a drain hole that's blocked, and I've tried plunging it, we've tried putting the pressure washer down it, and we can't get it unblocked, so I've got a coat hanger. I'm going to try and clear it with that. We can't get the drain hole unblocked, so I'm going to go down through the rear hatch and take it off at the T and see if I can unblock it there. There's the T. That's the line. It's that line there. So I'm going to undo that and then see what's going on. This side is draining. This side here is draining, so there's obviously something going on just around here somewhere. But that's what's in the end of it. I don't know what it is, but it's completely blocked. So I'll clear that out and we should be right. So I've just dismantled the head sail. What happened with this is that because the boat was neglected for so long, the head sail at some point started to unravel, and then gradually over years it just unraveled more and more and more and started flogging the mast, and it snapped the forestay. And I've got all the pieces down here. So the forestay snapped here near the bottom, and it also snapped up the top. So this is the track, the furler track, and it's all pretty buggered, but you know, see that's it snapped there at some point. And then when I got the boat, the head sail was just laid out across the top of it. And this is it. And this was made many years ago by Tony Bull in Geelong. And Gary thinks that this is unsalvageable, but I'm going to take it back to Tony and and drop it off and see what he can do with it, because you never know. Like you look at this part of the sail here, where it's got the telltales, and they're brand new. Hang on, where is it in the light? Look at that. That's like fluffy. It's probably never been used, this sail, which is a real shame. But we'll take it in to Mr. Bull. We'll see what he thinks. As you can see, it's absolutely filthy in here. It's all up in the sides, all the way through up to there. I think what's happened was there was there was a diesel bladder in here, and that at some point that's let go and mixed in with the water, and there's a bit of oil in there as well. But it might be good to, maybe it's preserved it a little bit in some way. So we'll get the gurney in here and we're just going to blast that all out. This is what they would call a rural approach. And I'm a pretty rural guy. I grew up on a farm. I'm rural. This is what you do when you're rural. On infomercials and things like that, people talk about stubborn mould. But you know the mould's stubborn when you're shooting at point blank range with a 2000 PSI pressure washer and it's still not coming off. That is stubborn.
What are you doing, Gary?
Trying to untangle those halyards. There we go.
You did it.
Now I've got something now.
We're taking all this stuff and we're gonna put some new vinyl on it for the floor. I thought we might have to cut some new timber panels, but I don't think we will. I think they'll be alright.